Hey floor coders, in this video I wanted to go over how to free up your time and grow your business effectively through the hiring that I was talking about in the previous video there for you. So essentially, to set the stage for you, when we start out in business, generally, at least this is how we started our business, I had to wear a lot of hats. I had to be the marketing person, I had to be the salesperson, I had to be the operating person, I had to be the restocking person, I had to be the payroll person, I had to be the customer relations person. Every one of the hats had to be filled by me, and then as well my co-owner onto there at the same time. Especially trying to figure all of this out at the very beginning, find out what is the most pertinent and important for us to all be doing so that we could categorize ourselves. Took a long time to get to where we are, so I hope that this video is very useful for you and can save a lot of time onto it. So essentially, what hats should you give up, when should you give them up, and why should you give them up, so that at most you have 1 to 2 hats that you're seriously wearing, or you have other people who are reporting to you that are handling all of those just to ensure that they're still getting done for you. So starting with the big 3, as there is and practically all there ever will be. You have the marketing, which feeds into the sales, which feeds into the operations, which feeds into the marketing, and then you can kick off for cash, right? This is the whole system. This is as difficult as this will ever get. So, as you can see, it starts with marketing first, then sales, then ops, in this order. Now, the best thing would be, honestly, to be a world-class marketer that can sell their ass off and then have somebody else do the operations. But generally, many people don't really like to do marketing and sales. I think I'm kind of a weirdo where I just love marketing and sales. I love marketing and sales all the time. Operations, to me, not the most, it doesn't really get me the happiest, honestly. I'm not the biggest fan. I get impatient with many of those things in general. So I do all the marketing and sales inside of my business. And then my co-owner does all the operations, all of the customer relations, the ordering of the products, the restocking of supplies, the making sure that they're getting text messages on the way, the receipts, the invoices, all that kind of stuff. And then I handle all of the marketing and sales. So what I find with many of the conversations that I also have with different business owners is it really is any of these that you want to choose. Ideally, you would want to be as upstream as possible to the revenue. So marketing or sales or operations. Generally, for the people that I work with, I can handle all the marketing that they do, and then they become really killer salespeople, or they become really operational killers, and then they hire on a salesperson to do it. Because you need basically both of these roles as you continue to grow. Like, I'm doing 50 estimates per month right now. That is not very feasible to be done if I was installing at the same time and having to do all of that, getting caught in the middle of phone calls while I'm trying to base coat and things of that nature. So what is the hats that you should give up is generally the one that you really just dislike doing and you feel like somebody else could do a better job for it. Now, I will say for sales, though, is that like a general salesperson is going to want 8 to 10% of the job. If you're running a business that's between 20 to 30% margin, let's just take 30, because if you have a salesperson, you practically need to be at 30. Otherwise, you're going to take that 20 down to 10, which is not acceptable whatsoever. So let's say you get back to 20% onto there, you hire a salesperson. They would need to be able to bring so much lead flow through there and such a higher closing percentage than you would be able to do for it to be worthwhile. Otherwise, it would be better to still stay into the sales and then hire an operator, because generally the operator would be less expensive than a salesperson because they would be tied more to the revenue. The salesperson would be in that situation as well too. So then the question becomes, when would you want to be able to make the switch to only having 1 or 2 of the hats at max? This should be done whenever you are finding consistently that whatever this other job is taking your time up way too much to where it's actually hurting your ability to do the other job that is more upstream of it onto there. So let's say, for instance, you're getting a lot of leads in the door and you're generally the salesperson and the operations manager. This is when it would be a time to make a decision. When it's consistently happening, I'm not talking like this happens 1 to 3 times per week. I'm talking this is like a recurring issue that's really starting to feel like, geez, I could be making another 10 to 20 grand per month if I was just doing the sales instead of also being on these floors at this current moment. As well as understanding that sometimes we just don't want to do things, so then we want to take the easy road out for it. So also just try to be mindful of that, being, you know, like, oh man, I hate doing this, I better hire somebody for it, and then they end up screwing everything up. So it really needs to be more of a want instead of a desperation kind of thing out of it there. So essentially then you want to do this when you're all maxed out onto that, and the why would be that you're really losing out on additional revenue that you know you could end up closing if you were that person that was there into it. And this is currently where I'm at. So I handle all the marketing and sales. Talon does all the operations. I want to hear for me. And then the next level, which we are not here yet, would be building a straight strategy. No more estimates, no more marketing, no more operations, just building in strategy, trying to find additional revenue sources, trying to find the next big thing that will really propel the business to another level. Be it adding on a different kind of commercial coatings that somebody performs, getting in with higher networks, getting in with really good GCs, getting in with different things of that nature, upping the Facebook budget so that you can have multiple crews out. And then you're managing just like all the building and the strategy of them with their training, the operating procedures, all of those kinds of things. The call scripts for salespeople, all these things that you can then take a bird's eye view from at a very, very high altitude to see how all the different parts kind of interwove with each other. I'm not there yet, but I'll be sure to share that as I'm going there too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the free group down below. If you'd like to work closer with me as well too, book a call down at Coding Cohort. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.